Hey y'all, what's going down? I am this is Station 19, Season 3, Episode 5, Into the Woods. Man, I mean, we had a breakthrough this episode. This was a breakthrough. Um, mm, this episode was kind of boring. Even though it was super good, but it was so boring at the same time. Um, so what made it boring to me was just like Maya, she's kind of boring by herself. Like if you, okay, so next week's episode, like they've been every episode they've been doing like people's like backgrounds and everything. So this week they did Maya. She is the captain now, so we got to see a little insight of why the way she is what who she is. Um, as a child, her father, she was like a big deal. She won an Olympics, so she was a track star. Now, as a child, like while she was in high school and stuff, her dad was very. At first, it showed him he was very nice, and he, he's I love you. This I thought he was like a good dude. Um, but then it like kind of kept showing more. Like she got to be friends with this girl on the team, and then she started to care about the girl on the team. Now, when the girl fell at the track meet, she looked back and she stopped. And because of that, she lost. But like she was close by a hair, though she still could have won by a hair. But she lost the race, and then her dad became a totally different person. They have dinner and everything, and he is very mean and rude and very condescending and arrogant and just mentally abusive. That's what I would say. And they talked in past episodes about her brother, and I've heard Ryan talk about her brother. Oh, your brother could be out here, like back on the homeless episode. So your brother could be out here, and she kind of shut down about that. But now we kind of see, I kind of understand why. So their dad was very mean, and he said, "I don't like losers," and basically called his own son a loser. And he was very rude. He threw mashed potatoes at the wall because she didn't win, and he doesn't like losers. He's very abusive in that way. He was very like almost like he would hit somebody, and the whole family looked scared. Her mom, um, her brother, and her they all look scared. And I just kind of feel like because of that, she got back on her dad's good side. She won the next race, and instead of, the girl was like, "Oh, good race," she was like, "Yeah, thanks," and walked away from her. So it kind of makes sense why she is the way she is, why she's all about business, why she's on the straight. She does everything the right way. She doesn't go away from the plan because she looked for the approval of her father, and the only way to get it was to win. The only way to get it was to be the best, and she knew that. So with that being said, now we get into the episode. She takes everybody on a camping trip, and she makes it mandatory. And of course, Andy doesn't want to go. Jack doesn't want to go. She screwed Jack over. She screwed Andy over. Like she was a terrible friend. Um, so nobody wanted to be there with her. Her her friends don't like her anymore. Everybody in the firehouse just doesn't like her, and it's not because she's a thief. It's because she stopped being who she is. She started being extra and trying to prove her point. Like I said last week, she's got that drill sergeant mentality, like a woman drill sergeant. She's got something to prove, and I just kind of feel like she's taking it a little bit too far, and I feel like she's gonna have to, she's gonna have to chill out on that. I mean, like I feel like her and Jack was like good together, man. They could have really been something, man. They screwed that up, man. Why couldn't they just like been something? Man, that was terrible. Yeah. Ugh, whatever. But um, it's so they're on a camping trip and everything, and there's another couple there, and they run into him. Andy, of course, she's still being a rude and mean, and she's being a Jackie. And she's um she tells him like, yo, watch out for that. You need to bury your or put something around the fire so that it doesn't spread. And she says it in like a kind of way, but she's just very, she's not happy right now. That's how it is. She's when she talks to Gibson, she's cool, but um, she's just not happy. Um, bro, didn't even know that Miller and Vic could sing, bro. They was really singing, bro. But like Vic, she got like a kind of opera voice type, like a professional type voice. Like maybe she was in some plays or something. Like her, I don't know her name in real life. Like maybe she was in some type of plays. And so like Miller too, he was singing too. So it was kind of like cool to see that. I didn't think that they could. As soon as they started singing, I just thought about Grey's Anatomy and how they had that music episode, and I'm like, will they do a music episode for Station 19? That would be so dope if they can do a music episode, but I feel like that wouldn't happen until they got like a season 5 or 6 or something like that. You got to be stable in order to do something like that, and they're just not stable right now, being as they don't get a full season yet, so they're not stable. They're kind of rolling off the backbone of Grey's Anatomy right now, as you know, all the episodes are a part of each other. They're very tied together. What's happened out in the field on um, Station 19 is what's happening in the hospital. It continues at the hospital in Grey's Anatomy, so they're kind of dependent on each other right now. So it's kind of like, and I've heard a lot of the rumors about Grey's Anatomy coming to an end, and yeah, it's really killing me, and I'm going to shed some tears when that happens, and I don't care what anybody has to say about that. But yeah, besides them going out in the wild and everything, Jack is out there sleeping with dude's wife. And, Andy finds out, she's like, bro, it's a code. You can't be doing that, G. And then they're like, Jack's like, it's such a man thing to say. He's like, well, I'm trying, to get over her, and you're trying to get over what you're trying to get over. How about we just help each other out? So then they go in the back and have sex. And Maya's right there, and they walk right past her. And of course, I'm sure she's seen them. And it's just kind of, I feel terrible about that. My best friend, and the guy who I was messing with, they're going to sleep together. Even though that they was together first and they was engaged. I think they were engaged. I might be lying. They may have not been engaged, but they was together first. So I mean, it is what it is. But besides that, Sullivan and Warren are at the station because they're waiting on a decision about the on-site. They want to do on-site surgery and trauma and all that. And so they're waiting for that, and they're getting all the inventory together and everything. And Sullivan, bro, he steals drugs. He stole some drugs. And Warren's like, bro, what's going on with you, bro? What is it, man? What's going on, bro? And he doesn't want to tell him, of course, but Warren's going to figure it out. That's just Warren. He does what he does. And Warren kind of pointed out the fact that, since Bailey had the miscarriage, he kind of feels hopeless because that was his chance to have a kid. And he's like, man, maybe, Sullivan kind of brings up the idea of adoption. And as soon as they said that, I just knew. I'm like, bro, they're going to adopt the boy from last week's episode. I mean, maybe not even adopt, but like take care of him or something like that. I could see that happening. I could really see that happening. Um, man, I just kind of hope that happens. Like, adoption will be cool. Like, I mean, yeah, being content with having Tuck, which is Miranda's son from Big Tuck, which is Black Lightning. If you didn't know, that's Black Lightning. So she's content with um she's content with that, and the baby was just something that happened, and I just kind of feel like they're gonna have adopt that boy or something's gonna happen. They're gonna do something like that. So I mean, besides that, Herrera and Pops, Andy and Big Herrera Pruitt, they get back cool again. He's like, bro, you know, it's not just that I miss Ryan. I'm lost without him. Blah blah blah. And Pops is like, bro, I miss him too. You know what I'm saying? That was like a son to me. And like I said before, he probably feels bad because he's the one that told him to come back. And he's probably feeling like, bro, if I want to tell him to come back, he wouldn't have died. But I just feel bad for Andy. Like, what if she loses everything, bro? Come on now. Sullivan, be a man about it. Just get your girl back already. Uh, we'll see how that goes down. Oh, Maya and DeLuca's sister. DeLuca. I guess her name is Dr. DeLuca too. I can't remember her name. They were sitting there talking. I'm like, oh boy, here we go again. Another crossover. So, we'll see where that goes. Yeah. Jackson and Vic, they both come to the camping trip. They kind of scroll off because that's where they met. And I kind of feel like, how does Jackson feel about having a woman that is stronger than him? Because they had to carry the people. Oh, I forgot to mention the bear story. They had the people. They got attacked by the bears, and they had to take them back with the sleeping bags and poles. And he's probably not as strong as Vic is. She's a whole firefighter. Even though he's a man, she's a whole firefighter. So it's kind of like, I wonder how he feels about having a woman that's stronger than him. Don't you ever try nothing, my brother. Don't ever try anything. But yeah, that was pretty much the episode. It wasn't really a lot to say. Miles' childhood kind of, dictated the whole episode on why she is the way she is, why she is the way she is with everybody. So it's kind of like, um, we'll see. Now next week's episode, it's going to be a good episode with London Tipton having that baby. That's not her name. Brenda Song. If you was a kid when I was a kid, you watched The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and London Tipton is Brenda Songs, which is Gibson's baby mama. Not Gibson, Miller's baby mama. She's about to have a baby, and he's like, bro, let's get married. And she's like, bro, I'm just trying to let you know, get to know your kid, and I salute her for that, bro. She's not trying to get with him just because she's having his kid. She's just, trying to let him be there for his kid. And so yeah, we'll see a little bit more about that next week. About that, so of course the episodes are gonna be combined a little bit again next week. So we'll see where that goes. Yeah, I will see you guys next on Grey's Anatomy.